have the right
We
intro and
are
everything.
live right now with the Weed and Wrestling Podcast. Sorry, what were we needing to do first, Laniya?
That's because on some of our streams it was the wrong intro set up for it. I was just asking if we had the right intro set up, but fuck it, we're here now.
Yeah, I guess it did it. Media Assets has the intro videos and stuff like that, but I guess I didn't set that up, so or I got to. I don't know. It's been a long fucking week.
Fucking day.
Absolutely.
But yeah, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Weed and Wrestling Podcast, our live stream on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We try to be on time at 8:30. And sorry we've been taking a break, but we've had real life happen and yeah, we're getting caught back up. We're actually gonna finish tonight with our spots on the Golden Era wrestlers with Laniya leading the discussion on Sting. But otherwise, we're gonna do a little recap of the wrestling weekend. It was a pretty big wrestling weekend overall,
Hell yeah.
and I won't be leading too much of the discussions because I didn't get to see much. I saw the results of things. But I didn't get to see many of the matches. I've been too busy moving. So you guys take it away.
So first and foremost, the weekend's really good. It's good to be back with y'all. So I want to say thank you again. Um, Only thing I could take the highlight for this weekend was Saturday, just to see Seth Rollins getting hurt. Um, Unfortunately, that happened. Um, just a sad episode again. They're saying that he's going to be out 4 to 5 months. I think it's rumors 4 to 5 months. So I think it's rumors saying I guess they had to change the outcome of the Goldberg match with Gunther because of that.
They
So
haven't admitted it, but
that's what we
but I
speculate.
yeah, it's pretty much everybody speculating that. Um, which honestly, I'm kind of fine with that ending. That was the one match I made sure to watch because I love Gunther.
We all we all got
And
difference of opinions, but they said LA Knight was supposed to lose. Seth Rollins was supposed to win, but my thing is, and I think we said that on the chat line. I would just love to see LA Knight finally get a push, man. I
yeah,
think the push is coming. He needs to get a push, man. It's unfortunate that happened, but again, hopefully Seth gets back to a speedy recovery, and I'm looking forward to these next few months to see what they're going to do. And
yeah.
Evolution was great. Evolution was definitely great. All women's pay per view. I'm definitely all for that. It did not disappoint. If I had to rate that pay per view, I would have to give it an 8 out of 10 or even a 9. It was that good with the storyline, the storytelling, how Naomi, cashed in the last match and won it. I mean, it's
Good
really
cash
not
in.
to take
It was a
away
good
from.
cash in.
Yeah,
Question.
it was a great
Very
cash.
good casting.
Very good cash in. I mean, I think that was the second best cash in after the Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. That's my opinion. But again, I have to give credits to Triple H with the storyline. That was brilliant on his part, and that's all I can really take away from that. Um,
I think Evolution was the best PLE we've had up to all year so far, which is I was happy that was all the woman one.
mhm.
It was, I mean, in the beginning, it was a little slow for me, but when it picked up, it didn't let go, and the matches were clean. They were, very little blotches, stuff like that, botches and stuff like that going on, which made me very happy. And they put their all into it. It was great to see Laura Valkyria really come out to shine. I feel like she was really impressive in that match where she hasn't been in a lot of matches. And I love her, as anyone that listens to the podcast knows. And they went all in, and I loved every second of it. Even the next NXT girls, they really showed their best sides during Evolution also. So it was a great PLE. I'm happy about whoever put it together. They did a great job.
Yeah, and I think Lash Legend. I think she next in coming. I hope she gets the push she deserves. I really do because I was rooting for her to win. I was definitely rooting for her to win, but we kind of knew what was going to happen. But
Yeah,
hopefully she gets to the main roster and Triple H has some things going for her. So
I'm I'm
hopefully it happens.
obviously very biased towards Lash Legend. Um,
Go ahead. I would like to hear that, Mr. Ryan.
I am extremely biased towards her. I love her, and I did see like little highlight clips of her in the match, and she's terrific. She's really something else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's actually grown on me. I like at first I didn't buy into her too much, but she has over the last few months really grown as a performer. Her
definitely.
technique is really solid. She's very athletic for a girl her size, and I'm looking for great things for her. But I want to take this moment to applaud the queen of the night, Naomi. Well deserved victory, well deserved cash in. It's a long time coming. I just hope they don't play her like they played Jay, because
Hmm.
SummerSlam is literally a few weeks away and she's
Hmm.
facing Jade for the championship. So I really hope they don't play her like that. She needs to keep this title for a good
But
solid like
she's not facing
eight
Jade.
months.
She's not facing Jade. She's facing Rhea and
Oh, my,
Io.
my apologies. My apologies. You know what?
Yeah.
Their rivalry has been so heated that I just keep thinking Jade and Naomi. But you're right. It's Rhea.
Funny.
And
So
Right.
yeah, I just hope they don't try to play her and give Rhea the title at SummerSlam. That'd be some straight
I
bullshit.
Yeah, one thing I was rooting for.
And
I
Io.
literally thought AJ Lee was coming back in Page. I literally thought they was coming back. That was all the rumors out there. But again, I think Triple H got something planned. I don't think he's going to throw all his eggs. It's like you're playing poker. You're not going to throw all your chips on the table. I think he got something planned for SummerSlam. I really do believe that. But I literally thought Page and AJ Lee was coming back at Evolution. If they would have came back, I would have gave it a perfect 10 out of 10. That's just my opinion. 10 out of 10. If they would have came back, I would have been like, you know what, Triple H buy some more time. Even though we critical of him, he would have bought a few more months extra.
A little bit. A little bit. Mm.
Did did I yeah, it was good, man. That pay per view was amazing.
I look forward to watching it. Yeah, you know how busy I've been. I haven't even gotten to watch Botchamania.
Yeah.
That's upsetting.
You know, Alash is busy when he hasn't been able to watch Botchamania.
Mm.
And Oscar versus Jade, that was a good match too. I'm glad Triple H put that together. That was a real good match. I love that match. Good match. Real good match.
Oscar's to me is just she's a paper bag performer. Just every time I see her, she's just she kills it.
Oh yeah,
That tag match last night was really good.
yeah,
Oh yeah. It's definitely good.
yeah. Her and Jay Cargill. That was a good match. I like that match. Real good match.
Yeah, they're a really good pairing. It was like kind of unexpected.
Mhm.
Well, I mean, Jade is still growing as a performer. I mean,
Yeah.
the
Definitely.
she did a lot of great things in AEW, and now she's you know now in WWE. It's a whole different atmosphere. So she has room to grow. She has room to improve her skills. And when she's competing against people like Asuka and Naomi and the women that are now in WWE, because I remember there was a time where I hate to say it, but the women's division was a joke. The women's division was your time to get up from your couch and go to the bathroom or go make a sandwich. You
Right.
know what I
Well,
That's
mean?
right.
But now it's gotten to the point where you actually want to sit down and watch these girls work.
they're allowed to be performers now instead of just running around in panties. Well, they aren't allowed to perform in
Exactly.
panties now because those are still panties. I don't care what anybody says, but they
Oh
are
yeah,
really good performers. And they get to show that instead of just being, bra and panties matches. That's how I should say.
Exactly.
long are the days of bra and panties.
I don't know, bro. Buy some. Like, but the division has definitely gotten better since they removed a lot of those like elements and allowed them to like show their performance side.
Had to rearrange myself because we only have one light out back.
I was
Uh
just about to be like, did the lighting just change where you are? No, because
oh.
I'm like,
Yeah,
okay. I thought I was bugging
yeah.
out.
I had to go out back.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that was a correction. My fault. She fought Naomi. I'm sorry. That was a correction on mine. That was a blooper. I was thinking about something else.
Yeah. Um. Any other highlights for anybody from like Saturday night's main event?
Well, I mean, I
How
think
was
the
Drew
the
and Randy?
biggest
I didn't see Drew and Randy. Was
Drew.
Drew and Randy any good?
You know what? I honestly don't remember. I was half asleep, but I did wake up in time for the Goldberg. Uh, Not for nothing. I think the match was okay at best.
I didn't
It's
listen.
his farewell. It's his farewell match. Um, so I mean, I wasn't expecting like him at 25 years old, but I think the match it ended way too abruptly for me. Like they put him in a sleeper hold and then all right, call it quits. No, I felt like it was anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I wanted and I got is Gunther playing with Goldberg. Like my favorite part of any Gunther match is when he just starts toying with the person, and when he like ripped off his like leg guard and started smacking him with it. That's the
But
side of Gunther I love.
I
So that
actually
part I
enjoyed
really
when
care.
Gunther. I actually enjoyed the part where in the very beginning of the match where Gunther slaps him with that chop across the chest, and
Right.
Goldberg just ate that. He was like, "Really?
He started
Yeah,
That's
laughing.
it?"
Yeah.
yeah.
Like no one's
That
ever
was like
done
the
that to
first.
Gunther.
Yeah, that was the
Like,
first no sell of a Gunther chop. But
yeah,
they
because
came back
normally,
later. They came
yeah,
back
because
later.
normally when Gunther chops you, he folds you in half like a taco.
Mhm. Yep. I'm sure Bret Hart saw him no sell, and he's like, look, he's already no selling shit.
You saw that? You saw the Bret Hart meme when they had a meme of him being in like the television room because they cut his speech short.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Goldberg is someone I never cared for. Even in his prime days. Um,
Okay.
like my favorite Goldberg match is his match against William Regal. That's my favorite Goldberg match because William Regal just shows him up and fucking makes him look like an idiot for half the fucking match.
Well, I mean, if you look at it honestly, and I might get a little heat from this, um, Goldberg was the cookie cutter version of Stone Cold for WCW.
He was the
Absolutely.
team
Yeah,
version.
I agree.
First,
I
I
agree. They may go. You know, if you can make a legitimate argument, I always say that legitimate argument, but you could make Goldberg probably WCW before it went to like WWE. You could probably make a case he's probably like top 10 because they made him seem like he was a juggernaut, like no one could really beat him. You know, remember Scott? No, Kevin Nash had to cheat to beat him. That was his first loss. You know, so Then he had some fake streak. They say he won 170-0 before he lost. I mean,
Yeah, they ended up wrestling bios kept track of it throughout the Monday Night Wars, and I think it's about 2 months into it is when they start inflating it.
yeah,
And then and then about a month into that, they cut back and actually let him catch up with like the actual number that they were putting out there
right,
versus the number that he actually had done.
right.
So, yeah, it did end up being 172 though.
So, I mean, like I said, I don't know. We have different opinions of Goldberg. I think he was overrated, but he definitely did.
Yeah,
He
totally
definitely
overrated.
earned he did earn like a farewell tour. I mean, I definitely believe that. But I think the Seth injury could have definitely played a different role in it. But like I said, Saturday night's main event was in Atlanta too, so he probably was booked to lose that night. So we
Yeah,
won't know. We won't know. We would not know.
Yeah.
Only Triple H knows. Him and his wife. That's it.
yeah. I think ultimately LA Knight said it best. It was when he was like, "I wanted to hurt you, but it looks like you hurt yourself."
Yeah.
Um, if you have a knee that you've had to have surgically repaired twice, sorry, dude, quit doing the springboard moonsaults to where you land on your fucking feet.
Yeah. Adjust your moves to what your body can take
Yeah.
because as you
How about you
age,
just land a fucking springboard moonsault?
or
You
just
know,
don't
it
do them.
doesn't. Yeah, or don't do it.
I mean,
Yeah, so it's like I feel bad that Seth fucked himself up, but at the same rate, he fucked himself up.
Right.
Um, and
Yeah, but at the same
and
token, bro, at the same token, because we're listen, we're not physical performers. Like we most of us
oh yeah,
don't have that experience of being in the ring. When you're a
mhm,
performer, and I'm saying this because back in the days before I got into medicine, I spent a year doing like wrestling a small promotion. Like I had
Right.
the whole spandex shit. I wore a singlet. I went by as a Samoan. That was my gimmick. I was a Noi Kalua, whatever. But you want to put everything you can into the ring. And yeah, you know what? Injuries are part of the game. You're gonna get injured. This is it's a physical activity. It's not like you're sitting and you're playing Madden. You're actually
yeah,
being physical. An injury like that, he's acrobatic, he's a high flyer, he's an impact player, and regardless of whether he did a springboard moonsault or something at some point is going to crack. So
yeah,
you never know. What they want to do, what the wrestlers, at least in my opinion, when you're in the ring, what you want to do is you want to leave everything in that ring to make sure the audience gets their money's worth,
Right.
because
yeah,
that's how they get to recognize your name, and that's how they come back.
hmm yeah. I and the biggest issue. Sorry, I'm walking into darkness here, but the biggest issue really is that he had one, two, three, four different like rivalries going on all at once.
yeah, it was a
Like
lot.
he was the main character.
Yeah, well, now he's the main character on the sideline.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I I think I think he's going to come back as face against Braun Breaker. I just think that's going to happen because
It
Triple H
should
will have.
happen.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen. But
I could see that in the fact that they were already talking just a week ago. Um, that happened with Braun.
right. But we're
Um,
not going to know because Roman Reigns came back last night. So I guess that's the new
yeah,
rivalry with him and Braun Breaker. So it's you know, I think Roman Reigns was going to come back at SummerSlam, but Triple H probably made that call. Well, I need you right now. So again, to me, that's the
That's
face
out.
of
You're in.
WWE. Yeah, he's the face of WWE. So it's what it is.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Seth Rollins they have to put that on the back burner, and I think they should the way they probably one way they could play it off is they could take this time of him being injured and him recuperating, going through therapy and whatnot,
Right.
and have it as maybe Braun and Bronson look at his injury as him abandoning them in their time of growth, and they could turn on him that way.
Right.
Yeah, they can do a lot of things with it. If he can come back, though.
Right. So
He'll come back.
yeah. So and before Laniya start, I just wanted to bring up the LA Knight thing one more time. I think his time is coming, but I think it's going to be on the back burner. The simple fact is, CM Punk, he's going to be the champion eventually, right? John Cena's going to drop it. Roman Reigns is probably going to get the title again. Cody Rhodes is going to get the title again. So it's going to be interesting to see what Triple H does. I think LA Night time is coming, but again, they got some Mel Divas in the locker room, so you got to deal with that bullshit. Hate to say it.
The big thing when me and Laniya, every SmackDown episode that we do, we talk about LA Knight, and
I see it. Y'all do a great job with that. Absolutely. So.
And we always talk too about how they are underutilizing him, and how ever since WrestleMania 40, like every time he comes out, the commentators always make a comment about how loud it is, because he's so over. He's so fucking over. Right. That's why I like, if that gauntlet match, really the way I would have had that gauntlet match go is I would have had him come out third and beat Braun Breaker and then beat CM Punk.
Right.
And have him go up against Gunther. Even if he lost to Gunther at SummerSlam, just the fact that he had a world title shot is much needed. But he should be the one to beat Gunther. CM Punk is not going to beat Gunther. He's not. He's not. If they were smart, don't put a title on him like that. Because CM Punk is somebody that he's going to make money no matter what, if he has a title or not.
Right.
Would they make more money off of him if he had a title? Maybe, but probably not that much more. Probably not that much more.
Yeah.
Whereas Gunther, you have the most solid heel on either of the major rosters. To where there's never going to be talk. There should never be talk about making Gunther a face. Never. Why bother? He's too arrogant. He's too arrogant to be a face. Which would be a perfect pairing with LA Knight. Those two, that's a match that I could totally see a 10 coming out of.
There we go.
Because those two are that good. I'd say really of like top 4 workers out there right now, like when it actually comes to in-ring shit, is like Gunther, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, and Damian Priest. And 3 of those 4 are not in a world title shot.
Right.
Instead, we got goddamn CM Punk, who, outside of that match, outside of that Hell in a Cell that he had with Drew McIntyre, man never impresses me. Just like last night, sloppy shit again. That's why I hate that moniker, best in the world. It's like, dude, land a fucking drop kick and tell me you're the fucking best in the world. Come on.
But if you're gonna say that, why is we calling John Cena the GOAT? He's not no GOAT.
He's
I
not.
don't call him that. They call him that.
He's not the GOAT whatsoever.
Who does
I mean,
that?
yeah, he's the GOAT on terms of what he accomplished, but I can tell you right now, I can name 200 wrestlers better than John Cena. And let's start with that. The whole
John Cena did.
let's call it what it is. Let's call it
Yeah.
what it is. Let's
It's
call it what it is.
politics. It's politics.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You know what? CM Punk is the best in the world at. He is the best in the world at playing backstage politics.
Yes.
And
But they all do. They you just can't figure him out. They all do.
but
They all
he
do.
really does. All right, name one other wrestler that sat right in front of the owner of their company, trash mouth him and every other wrestler in the fucking back, and made him shut up while doing it. That's the only credit I will give CM Punk. That man will talk some shit. He will talk mad shit. I'll give him credit on that fact. He's the best in the world at talking shit.
Yeah, but you can't sit there and say he was the only one talking shit about AEW while
He's
he was on the roster.
he's not, but he's definitely a crowning jewel of just how bad AEW fucks up.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes was the VP and he came back. He brought Jay Cardell with him. So obviously there's some shit going on at AEW.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you look at but if you look at AEW, at least to my knowledge, right?
Go ahead.
AEW is stacked with talent. They have so much talent that they don't know what to do. Like, dude, how the hell in today's day and age do you have a show called AEW Dark, which runs like 1980s WWF, where they had enhancement talent? You're using top stars to just lose. Like, I don't get that. And maybe it's because I like the whole Attitude Era where wrestlers actually started actually having matches and not just being relegated to facing Barry Horowitz.
They actually had rivalries.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like in the 80s, it was like you had, Kamala come in and demolish some guy named Joe Smith.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious? Like, you had these like one match guys coming out of Johnny Rods so they could, wrestle a match against a big star and get stomped. They didn't even put 1 ounce of offensive technique anywhere. And that's what AEW Dark is to me. The thing is that they have such a huge roster. They don't have enough time on TV to feature all of them. You can't. It's impossible. So I think that's a big mistake with AEW.
That's why they have 5.5 hour, 6 hour long pay-per-views.
Like, one thing I can give to Triple H, he knows how to recruit. I give him that. Because you think it was a coincidence that John Cena and MJF was in the same place at the same time? You telling me that John Cena wasn't sitting there trying to recruit MJF to come to the WWE? You see what I'm saying? Shit like that, the ears is open, and I guess Tony Khan is going to overpay for these wrestlers to keep them.
Well, apparently he's trying to hold back on that now, because now he's seeing how many of his own people have gone over, and the number one who played that into his advantage was MJF.
Oh yeah,
MJF bullshitted Tony like a motherfucker, saying WWE was looking for him when they weren't, and he got so much money out of Tony. And then once he got it, he on air made fun of him for it.
No, I think WWE was looking for MJF. I just believe that. I believe they were. I definitely believe they were.
Yeah, but I think they played an old Vince McMahon too, to where Vince did the same thing with WCW.
Oh yeah,
back in the day, to where
and let's call it for what it is, though. I don't count nobody money or nothing, but his father is the one that's really funding the AEW. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
His father is the one really funding that shit. So if Daddy comes and says, "Hey, you know what? I'm not funding this shit no more," where's he getting this money from? Where's he getting this money from?
Yep. Because it doesn't make profit.
Yeah.
They don't make a whole lot of profit now. Granted, apparently they did make a lot off of All In, with the pay-per-view buys. They did get like they did get like 2 million some pay-per-view buys, which good for them. But it's like, okay, you get that then, but then during your regular ratings and stuff, you're lucky to crack 700,000.
And
So I don't know where the money comes in outside of his
exactly.
dad.
If
Outside of his dad.
like Warner, right, on TNT, I believe, right. So if
Yeah.
if they gave up the NBA and they was paying the NBA all this money, how much money you really think they paying AEW? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They got you know, they sub like they got college football and stuff. Where the real money is at, you know, in college football and you know things like that. So what really makes you think they paying AEW all this fucking money to broadcast their shit? I don't think they paying them that much because
Probably not.
the money does come from like the television deals. Everybody should knows that. I'm pretty
I
sure.
know.
I'm pretty sure
I know. Just
NBC
as
was paying
somebody,
Vince a hell of a lot of money. I can guarantee you that.
I have Max through a friend of mine that has it on their Amazon there, and I cannot for the life of me ever like get the actual live stream or like live like viewing
Right,
of their stuff. I can't
right,
find it. And then on top of like not being able to find it, I can't find it till like 2-3 days later.
right.
and it's all sloppy the way that it's put together. And my friend Justin, because I had asked him, because he just has Max, I had asked him to the one night when we were talking, I was like, could you look up AEW just to see like if you can find it? And it took him like 10 minutes before he was able to find the
Yeah,
fucking cast.
yeah. It's not a priority with Warner Brothers. Like I said, they got DC Studios, so I'm pretty sure they're going to invest their money into that after how Superman, you know, did they thing at the box office, right?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
really,
which
you know, we really have to sit here and think, okay, how much money we really going to pay EW? You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
So,
Yeah,
all right.
they had that stupid special like visit I like with the Superman cast, and I thought they were going to be coming and visiting, like the actual arena and stuff, and they just had these stupid like little vignettes, and I'm mad with all this girl kissing that we didn't get Miss Maisel and Tony Storm making out. Like, come on,
Nah, nah,
AEW, like.
yeah, I kind of no, you on your own with that. I kind of like the Mercedes Monet and Tony. Yeah, I like that. I ain't gonna lie. Even though
Yeah,
it's
with,
still
with,
kids, I kind of like
I'm
with
saying
her
they
taco
missed an
wagon.
opportunity. I'm saying they
What you
missed an opportunity. They could have had Miss Maisel make out with Tony Storm. That would have been great.
it. All right, cool. Yeah, that's my
But
event of the day.
Yo,
yeah,
I'm craving tacos now that y'all mentioned that shit.
Who?
right on. But now that we gotten all that out of the way, I guess Laniya, if you want to start talking about the man,
Yeah,
the myth,
Lanaya,
I
the
like when y'all
legend.
gonna shut the hell up?
Since everyone's finished, we can talk about the second golden age, which was Sting. I'm sorry, my notes are all jacked up. I take the worst notes in the world. I'm sorry, guys. There's like 3 different parts, and yeah, I have to edit it all. Okay, so I did something different from you guys. I was thinking like, since I love Sting, I want to really talk about like stuff that people don't know about him. So I have like his significant matches, but I don't really talk about him except for matches that are significant after 1996 when the Crow persona, like, he introduced that, because we know that was his biggest time, and we know that, we know every aspect of that because we were there, we lived it, all of us, watched it over and over and over again. So I don't really delve into that portion of him and his career except for talking about, like, um, the really significant matches. But I talk about everything before that. And so, because I really want to present him in a different light than just like, because he is so prophetic. He's been there for so long. He was in WCW before WCW was WCW. I really wanted to focus on that aspect of his career.
Yeah,
because
the true golden age.
Exactly, the golden age of the best part of the golden age, second golden age.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if anyone was wondering, like, why don't we have this? Why don't we have that? It's because it's not significant. And actually, I want to start off with the difference between the two different sharpshooters and who had it first. Because somebody said that Brett had it first before. He didn't. I looked it up and I put it in here because somebody said it. So let's start off with that. First of all, let's start off with how they look. The big difference is Sting made his look like a scorpion, which is why he called it Scorpion Stinger, which is how he got Stinger. That
Scorpion Deathlock.
Scorpion Deathlock. He made that aspect a part of his character, and that's why it goes up so high. So the first way is the way it looks. It doesn't look the same at all, and he purposely did that so he can like say, "Oh, it looks like a scorpion because I'm the Stinger." And when Brett stole it, no, he didn't steal it. They actually talked about this. I don't know if you guys seen it. I watched a video that go back and forth about who had it first, and like they're very like cool about it. Like Brett even says he watched him practice it. It was like I like the way he does that. I'm kind of gonna take from that, and I thought that was really awesome. And just another way of showing that the wrestlers were so different. Even the way they expressed themselves back then, the way they shared moves, the way they communicated was really awesome. So yeah. The move itself, if anybody doesn't know, is you take opponent's legs while they're sitting on their back, and you apply pressure to their lower back and legs, and you lift upward, and that makes it extremely painful and uncomfortable for their opponent. And Sting popularized the Scorpion Deathlock in the late 80s and early 90s, while Brett didn't use it until the 90s to mid 90s. That was significant reason why he did it. And he definitely emphasized the resemblance on the Scorpion. Brett's sharpshooter is not a Scorpion Deathlock. The first thing, it doesn't have a cool name. It's just sharpshooter. He later adopted the move during his time in WWE. And the names were made to reflect the wrestlers themselves, like I just went over. And the sharpshooter was made to be a play on the Hitman nickname. Sharpshooter, Hitman. I didn't know that before. I thought it was really cool.
Nah, that's cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh shit.
Yep.
And there's a whole video. I go into the video here, but really I'm just gonna stop there because really video of them talking about it, and they just go in depth and they're just having fun being guys talking about wrestling. But yeah, that's the thing. Now we can actually get into Sting. Sting is super interesting. Sting is my favorite wrestler. That's why I chose him. But actually learning this and doing this and learning everything like I learned in depth, I'm like, now I love him even more. Sting was going out to be a bodybuilder, and he actually went to a wrestling show with his friend, and it actually happened to be WWF. And he was like, when he saw them, like, well, it was WWF then. It wasn't WWF yet.
So it was in the 70s.
Yeah, exactly. But he was hooked from there. Like we saw the way they used like their skill. He was really impressed with it, and he was already going out for bodybuilding, so it was an easy shift for him from one thing to another. And so he got his friend Jim Hellwig.
Hey, I know that.
Yeah. So him and his friend Jim Hellwig, they decided that they love this and they were gonna start like trying to do this. They actually were really bad in the first beginning. Like they were horrendous. They went from the freedom fighters, which is like the 70s. Some of it I didn't even date because I was like, I don't care. I don't. Just to mention it, in chronological order is all that matters. And then they were Blade Runners. Some of us kind of know this, but they were also really bad. They moved around from different promotionals. They were in the All California Championship Wrestling together, Universal Wrestling Federation, and that's where they split. And Jim left and decided to go somewhere else. And while that was happening, Jim Crockett actually bought the UWF, and it became the World Class Championship Wrestling, and which we know as a predecessor to WCW, but he was there. He was there when it changed. He was literally there, which I think was awesome. Like, he's older than WCW itself.
Yeah,
But
70s and 80s promoters, for whatever reason, just went with worldwide. They just always had two W's.
yeah, Universal, World, it's just all encompassing. And it's funny because Sting stayed at that promotion, the World Class Championship Wrestling promotion, because Dusty Rhodes was a booker there, and him and Dusty
Yes, he was, baby.
they had made a really good relationship. And it's like strong. He trusted him. He trusted the way he booked him. He actually got him shows. Like, he was good to him, so they're good to each other. He didn't want to leave while he was there. Dusty had faith in the promotion, so he stayed, which is so awesome. It's made me like think, like, oh, I see, like, he's not only a consummate professional, he's a really good friend. Which it comes up multiple times in his career, like him just being a genuinely good friend, a genuinely good person. And I think that feeds into a lot of why I like him. But yeah, in 1987, which is the year of my birth and Ryan's birth, right?
86.
Oh,
My
okay,
birthday's
yeah. So
tomorrow.
anyway,
Oh,
I
happy
know it's
birthday,
tomorrow.
brother.
Yep.
We also have a birthday at the end of this. But
Thanks.
in 1987, Dusty Rhodes, and like, I can't do it because I don't do a good Dusty Rhodes impression, and I won't allow
What do you
Ryan to
want
murder
done,
it.
baby?
No, I won't allow Ryan to murder it for this.
What do
But
you want?
Dusty Rhodes,
See, I love Sting just because when I got him with the blonde hair going on, I mean, the man just looks sexy. He looks sexy.
no,
And the women
Sting
wanted him.
said, no, this is before all that. This is before all that. Sting said that Dusty Rhodes pulled him to the side and he's like, "You're good, you look good. What you need to do is you got to put some color on your face, baby. You need some color, and like once you get some color, everything will work for you." So Sting was like, and then I listened to him,
Let's
and
get
that's
you
how I
some
told
face paint on there. Get you some color, baby.
But yeah, he literally said, "I want you to put a little color on your face. We're gonna put color on your face and get you some neon tights on you, and we're gonna be funky like a monkey, if you will." That's what Sting
Yes.
said that he said to him, and so he
Gonna be
started.
funky like a monkey, baby.
Said funky monkey, if you will. So Sting was like, yeah. So I got myself like some colorful tights, and I started like trying out different colors. And like the way Sting like talks about it is amazing. He's like, yeah. So I tried different face paints, and some of them like broke me out, which happened to me earlier when I tried to paint my face like for this. But he's like used to sitting in the mirror for hours, practicing different like ways of it looking, and he came up with all those different things himself. Nobody helped him with any time he did his face paint from Surfer Sting to like Joker Sting. He did all that face paint himself after Dusty Rhodes put some color on his face. It's in the 80s. So I think that's really awesome. And I even looked it up. Other wrestlers used to talk about it. Like Sting used to hide in the mirror and no one could touch him until he was done with his makeup. And he's just really awesome about it. And like hear him talk about it, like the joking nature, it was just made everything awesome. Like, oh, I'm doing this about you, and you're joking about putting on makeup, and like it's so cute. But yeah, he perfected that himself, and he made his face paint match his clothing for every single match. And then he had to start getting custom clothes made to match his ideas of face paint. And then I was like, he went way too hard on that. So I stopped looking into that. But let's go into the matches. His first major match was 1988. And that was March 27th at the Clash of the Champions 1. And it was against him and Ric Flair. And the match went on for 45 minutes and it ended in a draw. So like he literally he came in fighting one of wrestling's golden boys and got a draw. He didn't even get a loss. So he was golden right out the box. Everybody loved him because what? That's Ric Flair, who's been there since like the maybe 1800s. You know,
Why
Prehistoric.
you playing Rick like that? Why you playing
because
Rick
he's
like that?
ancient. He's the crypt keeper, and that's not my problem. So yeah,
Don't do Rick like that. Don't do
he did
that.
himself like that. He
Nah,
did
don't do
himself.
that. You know what? We'll discuss after you give your biography because you
You
being so
just
disrespectful. Very
word.
disrespectful. Go ahead.
Word. She
Y'all
just called
mad?
him nursing home
You're
Rick.
very disrespectful, man.
Y'all
You
mad?
was going
Mad?
good.
Y'all mad?
Yo,
Anyway,
I'll hear you.
Laniya
Go ahead.
just called him nursing home Rick.
Yeah.
I
I'll
mean,
hear,
I didn't say all that, but I mean,
I'll
shoe
hear
fits
you.
wear it.
I
Anyway,
did shots with that man, and I still have no idea who paid.
nobody.
Felt
Uh, um, I went
like I
okay.
needed to calm things down.
It's a little hot in here. Okay, and one thing that I talk because I jump around because I try to connect the instances in his life because again I want to talk about Sting the person more than the wrestler because we all know the best. We know the best parts of his career. The best part of his career is not Joker Sting. That is not any best part of his career. If anyone's wondering, I didn't even talk about him. None of his matches are in here because that was the worst part of his career. And like Sting says that's his favorite part of his career. I disagree.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care what he says. Anyway, he actually stopped doing steroids in 1990. And I was like, that's shocking. But yeah, he went all natural in 1990. So that was all him. All that muscle has been him for all those years, which I think is great. He's actually stopped doing drugs like cocaine and he found faith in 1998. And this is what part like I think is awesome. After he got clean, he told Lex Luger, like, I think you should stop. And he like went back, like telling him constantly until Lex Luger came to him and was like, I think I should stop. And then he privately helped him get clean. And he's like, we'll do it together, which is why their friendship is so strong today, which I thought was amazing. Like I had to add that in. Because he's just a good person. He helped multiple people get clean from drugs. Those wrestlers that wrestled with him get clean from drugs, and it was all privately. And I think that's awesome and amazing.
Yeah.
That's a good call out.
Yeah, that's a habit that's not easy to kick. You know,
It's not.
I work in the medical field and I see it all the time. And for you to have someone in your corner, that's amazing in itself because it's hard enough not to have any support. But when you have support like that who is there for you, that's amazing. So hats off to Sting for being that kind of guy.
Yeah, that's I thought that was significant to talk about. So let's talk about like his most significant matches. I mean, even if they're good or bad, actually, I talked about them because they're significant. Like they're the ones if we would talk about it. If we're not talking about personas, it actually Sting. Like
All right. So
1999.
hold on, before you continue, I'm looking at the time. Unfortunately, I have to call it quits, but I will check this out on the rest of your podcast. So guys, have a great evening. I will catch up with you guys on Thursday, if not before.
All right, bro.
All right. See you
Have a
guys.
good night.
Guys,
All right, peace.
okay, so we're gonna start with this. It might not have been like the best, but it's significant. It might have not been the best for his career, but it was Halloween Havoc 1999 with Hulk Hogan and Sting. It was like the last years of companies were trash. And I see your face. I'm gonna let you talk about this more than me because I only put it here because I know you'd be able to talk about this, but
I mean,
it
they
just showed what a consummate professional he was because it was absolute trash. It was trash put together from left to right, but he kept it going and he pulled it through. Sting. I'm gonna let Lash talk about that because he listened to the burst.
I haven't thought about that match in a while, so it's not fresh on my mind. But like, it still brought a smile.
Vince Russo was fucking responsible for that debauchery. If it was fucking
Oh
wondering.
yeah. Oh yeah, that has bro written all over it, bro. Uh,
Yeah,
um,
Vince Russo is just he
But we
I don't
have to
even want to
talk
give no
about.
comments.
Oh my God, we're gonna actually have to do a whole entire live panel on just Russo in general together because
yeah,
is a movement, a destructive
yeah.
force. Anyway,
Reason I stopped following Sportskeeda is because it was like two or 3 days in a row that they had an article being like, from WWE Insider or from Wrestling Professional, and it was fucking Vince Russo all three times, and I'm like, no, I'm no
yeah.
longer following you fucks if you consider him a professional.
Was it the first time Russo had someone lay down? I think this is the first time that Russo had someone lay down, right?
Who were you talking about?
This is the Halloween Havoc 1999.
No, yeah. Because I was before Bash to the Beach. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yes,
I think
Bash to
so.
the Beach 2000.
and
Yeah.
everyone was dreaming about this match, and then Hogan came out with the fucking street clothes on and laid down, and we're all like, "What the hell?" And then we have Goldberg, and what the hell? I'm still confused about that. Like, yeah, no, it had to be the
Listen,
first time.
bro. All right, if you go out there and you make it look real, like Hogan doesn't give a fuck, bro. Then they're gonna be like, "Yo, what the hell's going on, bro?" And then you gotta be like, "Bro, it's all confusion, it's all madness. We're doing it Springer style, bro."
Basically, and I think that should have been a sign of Sting to get the fuck out of WCW then. Like that was the beginning of the end. But he was ride or die for that company, literally until the end. Literally.
Yep,
And
yep.
I, I think that should have been the sign. It should have been the sign, like, because I mean, it was supposed to literally be a dream match for everybody, and then you just had someone lay down, and none of us had ever seen it before. We were all confused. Sting
Yep.
literally didn't know what was going on, and then Goldberg, and that's as we know what the fuck in general.
I think not the country, but I think a lot of people don't think like they don't think about the fans before they make trash at that. When you do that, just think about the people that's you know saving a hard-earned money to come to a wrestling match and they pull some bullshit like that. It's kind of like, oh, I don't give a fuck. We got your money. That's the end of that. But I'm pretty sure some cable companies probably was calling Time Warner at the time, raising hell. Like what the fuck is this? So
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That was part of their whole problem towards the end
yeah,
of finding anybody that wanted to buy them, because they had done so badly at that point that everybody was just like, why would we buy you? Yeah, with this kind of creative direction that you've had.
but here's the
And
thing, yeah. But who was the writer of WCW before Vince Russo?
dude,
Bischoff.
Bischoff was the writer.
Yeah,
he was
Bischoff.
a co-writer, but there was someone else. Now I gotta look it up because I don't
Yeah,
remember.
we got to look that up
Um,
because Bischoff was just like the Vince. I don't think he had anything to do with it. I mean, yeah, he had the storylines, but I don't think he was like the main person writing it.
well, I know that they let him go, like they demoted him
Yeah,
temporarily before they brought Vince in, and then Vince Russo fucked things up for a good 4 or 5 months before they brought Eric back in.
right.
Um, so I'm pretty sure he was in charge.
Yeah,
Right, so I just I don't know. I just wrote these down as I remembered them, but I'm gonna go through like good, bad because I have a lot of bad. I read them like, ooh, I don't want. Ooh, let's put something good. So the next one I'm gonna talk about is Sting versus Cactus Jack at the Beach Blast 1992.
That's a rare one.
It's a great
that's,
match,
that's a good one.
and exactly, it's a great match between Sting and Cactus Jack, and it also showed like how good Mick Foley was. They both showed
Mhm.
like how good they were in that match.
Yeah, God love Mick and Sting.
Sorry, my phone, my data literally said failed to load.
Huh.
I don't know why my app's messing up. Give me a second.
That's why I gotta grab my charger. So I will be right back because I'm not gonna lose signal.
Yeah, Cactus Jack was that dude.
Yeah. First of all, it was an innovative match for that because they were taking hard bumps and hits, and the face buster to Cactus Jack, that was like unheard of back then, you
Right.
know. And first of all, I have to talk about Stink's pink pants. After I found out he's the one that coordinated his face paint to his pants, I'm just like, who told you it was bright ass pants, bro? So you chose those bright. You really chose all those bright colors. I mean, it wasn't. I know it was the '80s, but that was choices. They were all choices.
Right.
I guess we'll wait for last or whatever because I didn't talk about it. Let's even talk about it. Do you remember the match? What do you remember? And what highlights do you remember
Of Sting?
of the Cactus Jack and Sting match? If you remember anything from it.
Nah, I don't remember that.
Well, yeah, it's a great match. Definitely need to go watch it if you haven't because like the stuff they're doing with the face busters, it was innovative. They went hard. People at WCW was like, "Oh my god, what's going on?" You know, like because they didn't like Cactus Jack didn't go hard like that yet at all. As we know him Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, dude love as the hardcore king. Back then, it was just whatever. You know, and it was like that type of thing was like whatever. They was unseen to them. So, and also, I believe this was the inaugural showing at Beach Bash, which made that another big thing. And it was like,
So it's Beach Bash, not Bash at the Beach.
no, it's Beach Bash 1992.
Okay,
My bad. I even put it here when I stopped
just
making it.
wanted to clarify that.
No, I didn't put it here. Like that's why I
Beach
said it over
Bash,
and over.
not Bash at the Beach.
You know what? I kept messing up because Starcade Bash would be. They had like the most flowery, glittery names for things, and
Yeah.
it was weird to me because I like at the more I read it, the more I started fucking them up. I'm like Starcade, Great American Bash, the Great what Clash of Champions, Night of Champions. Like everything was just like confusing after a while. And
Yeah.
like they had war games, and then they had Wrestle War, and then like Super Brawl, and then Starcade, and like I don't know why things weren't normally named, but again, early '90s, late '80s, things just wasn't the same.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So again, what made that match significant was how hard they went, and that was unseen before. And Sting kept up with Cactus Jack, and we know how Mick Foley is like now. So that's just a precursor to all the things we would see later from Sting.
Right on.
I thought we had a lot more discussion in between, so but we're not. So
Well, that's honestly a match I probably haven't seen
you
because
know,
when you said Beach Bash, that's why I had to clarify, like not Bash at the Beach.
yeah,
Yeah,
no.
WCW has some weird pay-per-view names.
Oh yeah, that's what I was just going through them.
Yeah, they got some real pay-per-view names, man.
Yeah,
But
she
it's
just was going through
Like if
them.
if you go on Peacock and you go into like the WWE library, it is some ridiculous names, man. Like they marketing department was terrible. Like you know,
horrendous. I don't
like
know who did it.
like New Blood Rising. What the hell is that? Like you're supposed to be a name that catches attention, you know?
Yeah, I was just saying, like Wrestle War Games. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Starcade. I hate the name Starcade. Who the fuck ever thought of that? And why was it long for so long? Like,
No, but you know what's so funny? Starcade was technically WCW's WrestleMania. I
it
always thought
is.
it
Yeah,
was Super Brawl. I always thought it was Super Brawl, but it was Starcade.
Again, Super Brawl is another name. Why do you need what they didn't need Super Brawl if they had Starcade either? It's a whole mess. It's a whole fucking mess. Stampede was another one. Yeah, Spring Stampede.
The Great American Bash.
Yeah, which is not
With
the
that,
same thing as Beach Blast. Like,
what would they go? The Hog Wild.
Which
the name,
oh man, that the Hog Wild, the Hog Wild. I think it's from like '94. Wrestle Me covers it, and it was like down in like Jacksonville, Florida, or something for like Bike Week, and the whole fucking place was just surrounded by bikers and like tons of just like pissed off dudes, and they were like yelling out racist shit to Harlem Heat when they came out. It was pretty fucked up.
Yeah.
yeah, that was that time though. People act like it was happy and fun. Like, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Although he was in the persona of the Crow, AJ Styles and Sting at Bound for Glory was one of his best matches. I mean,
I bet.
AJ Styles was a very strong opener. You could tell that Sting was aging, but he was the best as he could be, and he really made like you could tell he built it up for Styles, and helped pull him over in that, and because he realized the Styles was the future of what they had to do, and he did that with a lot of different people as we went on. As we know, Sting, he pull everybody over. Everybody comes over Sting. Ain't nobody being held back for Sting, unlike Hogan. We're not going to get into that. Speak about Sting, but anyway. That's
Here
another
we
thing.
go.
Like this is what made AJ Styles like the champion. Like Sting put him up right here, and I think that he's like I remember this for Sting being the one that helped pull him up, but it was AJ Styles. I like to think about AJ Styles now and be like, oh, but Sting's the one that had pushed him over and like make him something makes me really happy because. He's like, AJ Styles, no matter what I might think of him personally, because I don't know him or what I might hear about him, he's a good wrestler. He seems to have really good rhythm with the other guys and stuff like that. So it's great to know that Sting's the one that pulled him over. And I got to watch it 2 years before my daughters were born. Yay.
Oh yeah.
Then you have one of the best ones, Nitro 1999, Sting and Diamond Dallas Page.
Mm.
That's another one where Sting's basically pulling somebody up, the ladder. It was great. I don't remember. I remember being shocked that it was great. I didn't watch the match again. I just like I said, I wrote down which ones I knew. I looked up blurbs and stuff like that. But Sting didn't get what he should have out of this match. He basically got screwed. But it's another example of him pulling someone up the ranks. And these are good, solid wrestlers that he helped. And like to have your name connected as Diamond Dallas Page with Sting, and it's crazy because you're like AJ Styles helped Sting help pull him up. Even you have Darby now, Sting helped pull him up. Diamond Dallas Page, Sting helped pull him up. It's like you can't say that about a lot of other wrestlers.
You really can't.
What you say about Sting, and then Sting helped people get clean, and then he's a fucking stinger. He's iconic in himself. So I think that's why I talk. And there's a lot of Ric Flair and Sting matches. I just purposely am not talking about them. Like they've been wrestling like forever. I feel like.
Well, I think it's a legendary thing that they were the first and last main event of Monday Nitro.
Yep. And
that's extremely significant.
it is. It really is significant, and also because like throughout his first. Oh my god, I went through that for you in the beginning. His first significant match was with Ric Flair. They went 45 minutes, and it was a draw. Like they met at a whole bunch of different times in their careers. I think it was always great whenever they did. But I'm going to talk about Sting and Vader at Starrcade 1992 because this is actually like. Excuse me, sorry. Because Cactus Jack had like threatened Sting's throne because Sting was like number one in the company at the time, that Vader did it. And
You know,
He and Sting ended up with broken ribs in this because he was like Vader landed on him, and then he was like hear a cracking. He's like he knew he had like something was broken, but he continued on, and he finished the match anyway. And he like two to three broken ribs after. But that's another one because it made Vader very prominent in the industry. Well, in that WCW at the time, but also solidified Sting as take one for a team because he was like that. Vader hit him once, and he was like, "I knew it was broken," but then he went for it again. I was like, "Yeah," and then I heard it crack. I was like, "No, get off of me!" Like, but I mean, like we know what Vader looked like. Vader, for anyone that's listening, Vader was a big man. Vader was a
Yeah.
big like.
And he wasn't fat either. Like that, and like most of that was just that he just had one of them bulbous muscle bodies, because nobody's doing moonsaults and stuff like that when they're not athletic.
Yeah, no, he was hefty and sturdy, but he was still really athletic. But like, imagine all that landing on your ribs, not once but twice. Sting endured it.
Yeah.
And he still made the. It was a match. If you guys watch a match, you guys obviously don't watch a lot of early matches like I do. I just like seeing him in those tight pants. But anyway, it was great time for spandex. But he was like, there was a lot of times we got hurt, and like as watch, like I read about all the times he got hurt. Like, oh shit, you got hurt, But I wouldn't have known if I didn't do this because he was such a cosmic freshman. Actually, I wrote some of them down. I'm going like I have 3 different lists. Everyone's gonna roll out with me. Give me a second.
Yeah.
What is this? Okay, so Ric Flair. Oh, he broke his patella jumping in the ring with Ric Flair. He was like it wasn't even. He literally was jumping in the ring and he hit his knee wrong, and he felt like something was like messed up, but he didn't look down. But then Rick went to go to do a move on him, and he noticed that his leg was like dangling away from his knee. And he was like, "Don't do the move," and Rick did it. He's like, "Don't touch me, get off me." He tried to roll out gracefully because it was nobody's fault but him because he literally hurt it while jumping in the ring. But he was on a lot of drugs during that time and stuff like that, so yeah. Yeah, Vader, the broken ribs. That was bad. That was really bad. And I like these are ones that put him out for a while. And then you have Seth Rollins that put him out forever. But I don't actually talk about that because it's depressing.
Wait, what?
And they said that Seth Rollins hurt his neck and put him out of the game forever. That's why Sting retired.
He retired from WWE.
Well, he retired. That's when he started like going less in the ring, and that's when he became more of an image than a wrestler. Because he realized he couldn't go anymore. He even said it himself. In everything I read, but he's like, I couldn't go. He's like, I didn't want to go anymore because he was like, I kept hurting myself, and by that time, it didn't heal the same. So he's like, he wasn't going to push himself.
He still did some all right matches in AEW. His last match.
Yeah, he did. Even with TNA, he had some good matches with TNA in the in between times after that. But they were never like he was never like Sting again. He could never go again.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really trying to I'm purposely trying to skip. I wrote down a whole bunch of matches. I wrote down 20 matches. I'm trying to skip ones that I hate. Because
how many of them are with Hogan?
There's not a lot with Hogan. You know what? In general, Sting didn't meet Hogan.
Yeah, they didn't really have a lot of matches.
He didn't really work with Hogan like that. I think he had 3 or 4 matches with Hogan.
If that. I think he had 2 ring appearances and 2 actual matches with him. And one of the appearances was Hogan laying down.
Yeah.
And because Sting had so much control of his career and he didn't have to run around talking about his contract. He made it happen so that he only met people in the ring that he wanted to go back and forth with.
Yeah.
I think it was awesome.
Yeah, because that Starcade, that first match with Hogan, that shit was a travesty. Hey, that shit was a travesty.
We could talk about Sting. I really wanted to avoid this, but we can't. If we talk about Sting, we have to talk about Sting versus Triple H.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you talk. I'll give my comment because I think my first time I joined the podcast, I brought that one up and I wasn't too pleased. But
Yeah, no. I
you
mean
piggyback on that.
that they screwed him. They screwed him. They screwed him at every turn that they could. And then this was the ultimate fuck you, I think, because they could have done so. First of all, WWE would be iconic, like golden forever in a different stratosphere than it is right now if Sting was on their roster permanently. If they didn't just have him in that one, WrestleMania, like
Yeah.
that against to lose against Triple H, because nobody wants to. First of all, and I talked to Triple H has the personality of a wet towel. Nobody cares about Triple H, really. Like, he's a gang, woo, yeah, exciting, but people aren't running around following Triple H like that, except the fact that he's fucking Stephanie McMahon. But, so that, like, going against Sting to me was insulting. They could have found anybody else to put him against.
I literally thought, as you just to piggyback on you, because this is your time to shine. But I think it was a last Vince moment to say, you know what, I'm gonna stick it to WCW one last time. But again, I don't. And you correct me if I'm wrong. Did they fight in WCW?
Hmm?
Did they fight in WCW as well?
Oh, wait.
They probably did.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
no.
actually. I
I
don't
don't
know.
think
I'm
they
not trying to be
did.
They
smart. I
probably
don't know.
did when he was
So yeah, I don't. I'm just asking, but
I
Joker.
didn't read
probably
that at
fought
all.
Sting.
Yeah. So fast forward to that point at that WrestleMania. If I was Vince, I thought it should have been Undertaker versus Sting, not no Triple H.
That's
Exactly.
what
That's
everybody
just
thought.
that's just me because
If you're
Austin's
gonna
out.
lose to someone, lose to
Yeah,
Undertaker.
yeah, it should have been the Undertaker, not no Triple H.
Yeah.
But I think they had a behind the scenes moment, and I guess Triple H negotiated the contract through Vince, and I guess Triple H said something like, "Oh well, you're gonna be working with me," and he started smiling. But I literally thought it should have been the Dead Man versus Sting. They should have done that. That
They
should have been
should
the
have.
main event of that WrestleMania right there. That's my opinion.
And
Not no Triple H.
Yeah.
That makes no sense.
and knowing the fact how both of them can go in the ring, I think it would have been a better pairing, like
Yes.
skill wise, also.
And that would have been a good time for them too, because they might have been a little bit past their peak, but they weren't shit.
Right. Yeah,
They
they
weren't
wasn't
dog shit.
terrible enough to know, absolutely. But
Yeah.
again, if you was going to do that, it should have been Undertaker versus Sting, not Hunter. But again, maybe Triple H should play that son-in-law card, like, hey, I want to fight him, not
Of course he
Undertaker.
did. That's all
Yeah,
he did.
he probably did. We don't know, yeah, but I'm just saying, it should have been that.
I'm just more amazed that Vince didn't see the money in that.
Yeah,
That's the money match.
yeah,
That's the money match.
yeah.
If you wanted to make more money, that's the thing is everybody talks how bad that Triple H and Sting match is. How much more money would he have made if it would have been Sting versus Undertaker? Then we would have been talking about one of the greatest matches of all time.
Absolutely. They would have been one of the greatest ever, hands down, ever, hands down.
Honestly, after the pop that Sting got coming out during WrestleMania, the fact that he wasn't a WWE, wrestler, Vince should have rethought everything and be like, stop, we're changing everything right now. Because that pop that he got alone, that was iconic for, I mean, like, everybody was off their feet. And that's not a man that ever worked in that, promotion. And
Mm-hmm.
the fact that he got such a good reception, that was alone should have showed you that man shouldn't have lost. He should have become part of the company, at least pop up once in a while. Do something.
Yeah, that's definitely one of Vince's worst decisions.
Yeah, that was terrible. That's one of You know, that was just a disgrace. That was definitely a fucking travesty. I mean, you don't let nobody, especially, and you can make a legitimate argument. He's probably one of the top 5 wrestlers ever. You can argue with that,
Number
but
one for me.
Mhm.
yeah, number one. Yeah, definitely, I agree. But to sit there and say, to have his first match lose to WrestleMania to Hunter, let's call it what it is. Triple H is probably not even in the top 30 at that. So let's keep it real. Let's keep it real.
He wasn't even a top guy on DX. He was just like the top guy's homie,
Yeah,
really. Like, and Triple H didn't become like number one until Shawn Michaels couldn't be around because he got hurt.
yeah,
Yeah.
So, and
Yep.
somehow I don't know, but again,
and I like Triple H. I'm not knocking him, but I'm just going to call for what it is. He's not even in the top 30. I'm gonna call for what it is.
I
Mhm.
don't think Triple H.
You know?
I think he's a good wrestler.
Yeah.
I don't think he has it as in personality wise, and his move set is that of like a 15-year-old. But I mean, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't think he overrated enough. I just think he's like in the top 30. Like I wouldn't put him up there.
Yeah, he's just a. I mean, I don't like the word, but if I had to, he's a jobber.
Yeah, he's better than John. He's better than John Cena. I'll tell you that. I'll go to the grave saying that he's better than John Cena. Hands
I
down.
agree with that.
I mean, John Cena is on my shit list. So
Yeah. The fucking whole TNA roster is better than John Cena. Shit. You know what I mean? But let's keep on going on. Let's go on. Let's finish this. Doing a good job.
actually, I'm gonna talk about his final match now because again, whenever I talk about Sting, I'm like, and he's such a good guy, and his kids, and I didn't want to go into that aspect. Like again, I touched on like the parts of the fact that he's been around so long, the fact that he's been around so long that his move was named before Bret Hart's move. I mean, like that. Yes, that's why I went through in the beginning, and they even talk about. I can give you the video.
But first of all, I'm Bret Hart all day. All right. If you're gonna sit there and say he stole that for Sting,
No.
Let me.
They didn't steal it.
You
I
said that
started talking about
You said
that.
that at the beginning. You didn't say
No,
that.
they didn't steal it.
Oh God, here we go. Here we go. You
They
said
use
that,
the same
Laniya.
move, but it's a they just say they sound the same move, but they purposely made it different to separate from each other.
Well, now you said it. You said that at the beginning in your monologue. You said that.
No, I didn't. I said they do the same thing, but somebody said before that Bret Hart had it first. He didn't. All wrestlers do the same move.
Right? But before you cut me off, right? Bret Hart did it better than Sting.
It's different. One is Scorpion Death Drop, and one is a sharpshooter. You're not gonna have me during my talk about Sting saying Bret Hart anything is better than Sting. I'm sorry.
Bret Hart's not better than Sting. Bret Hart's not better than Sting.
Did Sting and Bret Hart ever go at it?
Oh my God. Oh God. Oh Jesus.
Did Sting and Bret Hart ever go at it?
Pretty sure they did.
And, they was like 50 years old, 60 years old fighting, man. They was afterthoughts in WCW when they fought. You can't count that as a real match.
No. Wait, they were young in WCW when
No,
they had a match.
They was like in the 40s, like late, like 38, 39, 40.
Damn, they didn't have when they were younger?
No.
Yeah, because
they had one
they fought like in 98. They probably did. Listen.
Yeah.
They fought earlier.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But
I'm gonna look it up.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
What we're gonna say is they're different but equal. Okay.
Okay.
Because I'm not gonna hear it. But
they had a U.S. title match and a World Heavyweight title match.
Yeah, they did. I agree. And they had a tag team match too. That was some bullshit.
That was bullshit.
Yeah, fucking Hogan. Go ahead.
I didn't talk about the Hulk was in it, but
nah, go ahead, man.
Yeah, he wrestled. Brett wrestled Wolfpack Sting and Crow Sting.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't like Wolfpack Sting. I think he was better as being a single, like the Crow Sting. That's the best moment of his career, man. When he joined Wolfpack, I wasn't a fan of that. I was not a fan of that.
Everybody
That
everybody
defeated the
wears the
purpose of
wolf
him
pack
being the Crow.
with
That
rose-colored
defeated that.
glasses.
Because remember, the Crow was a vigilante. That's what that whole thing was about. He was out for revenge. He was a vigilante. So now I'm
And
teaming up with somebody else to take care of.
the
No,
way they
absolutely
worked him
not. I wasn't
in
a
with
fan of that. Wasn't a fan of that.
Randy Savage and everything sucked too. The way they
Yeah,
worked with Randy Savage and roped him in and going after he turned his back on him, like this pussy shit. But
yeah, I
the
agree.
reason why I didn't cover anything after
Well,
'96 when he changed in the Crow persona, except for certain matches, because I would be too in depth. I could literally do a whole thing and be like, Sting, the Crow and after years, and that would be another hour for me, So that's why I didn't do that, because that's so in depth on itself. Because you had the evolution of the Crow, how he went in there, then started messing up with the Wolf Pack, and how they made Randy Savage look bad for years, and then you had him going to TNA and looking bad with the Joker. I mean, so many things you could talk about after that. That's why I just left it alone, just talk about a few matches.
Yeah, I listen. I just wanted to say, Wolfpack Sting was terrible. That's what I said. I think that was.
well, everybody wears.
That's because
Everybody looks at the wolf pack with rose-colored glasses. You know, they remember it for more than what it actually was. They were only around for 3 months.
They really want it's just like the Confederacy. People think like it's a big grand thing. I'm like, bro, they were barely around. And
It was more than 3 months, right? Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do
Okay,
that.
we'll give you 5 to 6 months then. They weren't around that long.
Don't do that, man.
They
Wait,
weren't
whoa. You talking about the original Wolfpack or when they merged with end up the black and white?
Yeah, the original Wolfpack. The
Yeah.
original Wolfpack was only around for about like 3-4 months.
Till they merged with the
Yeah, till they merged, and then it wasn't the Wolfpack anymore.
And it was just ridiculous after that. It started becoming a sideshow.
No, they had some good storylines with that.
They had some good storylines, but
what happened?
they had some good storylines, but it started becoming like sideshow. Everyone and their mom was in there at that point.
Nah, you remember when they kicked out Conan?
This is why you can't talk about them.
Yo, that shit was funny as hell, yo. But go ahead.
That's what I'm saying.
Bagwell's mom.
Yeah, well, go ahead. I'm sorry, I had to throw it out there. Go ahead.
That's fine. I'm just going to talk about his real final match at AEW Revolution 2024. I thought it was so awesome that his last match was at AEW. I think that was a big kiss my ass to WWE, as it should have been, because his last match would have been WWE, where it should have been.
Right.
He was a consummate professional. He was ride or die for WCW. Whoa. When WCW got absorbed, it was like, fuck one of the star players. And it wasn't right. It wasn't right at all. Sting didn't deserve that because he had, again, before he was with WCW, before WCW was WCW, and Vince made a conscious effort to, make him look bad when he was there and not have him there before that. Sting also talks about how he refused, like a little bitch, to go for years also. So a lot of it's on him. But
what was his reasoning not to join WWE early in his career? Can you find that? You got the answer to that?
Because he was around when WCW started, and like he was so indebted to those people and the wrestlers in the group and even the people that started it, So he was like, he's ride or die to a fault. And he talks about it, he mentioned it, but I think the way it worked out was better for him because they would have made him look like a fucking joke. We see what they did, and that could have been any better because he was better than the best people in their roster. And as they did to a lot of people they brought from WCW, made him look like jokes. There was one reason he gave, and it was like one of the storylines that they had when people first started coming over. And Sting was like, he didn't like the storyline, so he refused to come over. And it was really spicy. And there's a lot of stories where Sting's like an asshole like that. Unless sometimes I didn't have to do it, so I didn't. But I mean, he didn't have to do it. Fucking the Stinger, He's been around since the 70s. I mean, he's still there. He stopped doing drugs. He helped other people come out of drugs. Like he helped Lex Luger get off the drugs. But the last one was 2024, and he retired after that match. It was a tag team match, and he retired a tag team champion. He had a 4-decade career. 4 decades. He's been in wrestling a little longer than I've been alive.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's phenomenal. You know, you never heard anybody talk about Sting had sex with a mama or try to beat him up or anything like that. He's just a great guy. And every wrestler that talks about him, like, yeah, Sting's an amazing person. He did drugs and all that, and he never robbed nobody, you know. And I think he went through the 80s as a wrestler, and nobody said anything fucked up about him. Like, come on. We heard something fucked about everybody we heard in the 80s. Every wrestler in the 80s had something somebody said except Sting, and it just shows he was a great professional. And he had a legendary run, and he literally met with everybody, you know, Diamond Dallas Page, Macho Man Randy Savage. He has really, I mean, Dusty Rhodes was a part of it. Like Dusty Rhodes told him to put color on his face, you know. I don't think there's anything more iconic than the people that he's intersected with. Hey, talking to us? No?
What the hell? What the hell is that?
I don't know. Lash, you talking to us?
I'm here. I didn't say anything.
Somebody hacked your camera or something?
It's not my camera.
What happened?
No,
It's
you
not like
hacked your
someone started
camera.
talking.
What happened?
It's not like someone started talking that wasn't on film.
Oh no, we may have to
Really?
look into that. Yeah.
I put my phone in my pocket.
Oh, that's probably what it is. Okay. I was about to say.
I put my phone in my pocket.
I thought Elon Musk did something, but go ahead.
It might be.
I'm not on the Epstein list. Don't worry.
Why would you be? You're a man. All right. I have a lot of bad matches on here. I don't want to talk about the bad because we've been over so good. Jim Cornette has good things to say about Sting. Everyone that talks about Sting has amazing things to say about Sting. Stone Cold Steve Austin and him did have a match in WCW when he was stunning Steve Austin, and it was actually one of the better matches that stunning Steve Austin ever had. Which is, I should have talked about it in the beginning, but
Wait a minute. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. So Mark Holloway probably fought him in WCW.
Huh?
When he was Mark Holloway, he probably fought him in WCW. Sting.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I mean,
They probably could have.
Yeah, Vince McMahon is an asshole for that, man. Nah, I can't believe all the only stuff, man.
And you know what? It could have been like the true coming together of the companies and really making it a great thing. Oh, they did compete against each other in a singles match in 1990.
Yeah. So you talk about like what, some 26 years later? Yeah, that would have been lit if they would have fought.
Yeah. But I mean, I can't, like, Sting is amazing. He's had such a long career. He wrestled with some of the best. He's still around to talk about it, and he's sober. He raised 3 kids, and he has the same wife since the 80s, and he ain't never beat her, ended up on jail or child support or anything. He's doing good. If he sees this, I'm sorry I stalked you and your family a little bit. I really wanted to guess. But that's all to talk about Sting.
Yeah, that was a good presentation.
Yeah, he's a good reputation. I love Sting. He's my favorite. And I think he's a great into the golden age because he basically wrestled everyone else mentioned in the golden age, even if other people didn't meet each other. And he also would be the middle piece if those people wanted to fight each other because he didn't have no problem with nobody. He was Switzerland.
Yeah.
The thing, and you know what, the craziest thing, right? Because we just brought up the merging of the NWO. Where the fuck was Sting at during that time? Because I remember when they jumped Goldberg, and everybody said, "Yo, where the hell is Sting at?" Like like the next day I came to school, I'm like, "Yo, I didn't see Sting. Like, where does Sting fit in all this, man?" And that's one thing WCW dropped the ball, man. They dropped the ball on that.
Yeah, you know what? Sting was probably like, I'm not. That's not what I do. And Sting always had he had the conditions on contracts. He basically did what he wanted, and he chose to just be the person to help pull people up and be the stinger. You know, I mean, literally, he decided to be the Crow, and he just like, I'm going to change. I'm going to start painting my face different. And they were just like, "Go, do it, whatever you want," and nobody cared. You know, like I mean,
and it was Scott. It was Scott Hall who gave him that idea. It was Scott Hall for the Crow.
Listen, just imagine. You know, would have been more disrespectful, which was Sting and Vince. Imagine if he gave Sting to Cena and Cena beat Sting. I would have been done with WWE. Like, yo,
none of us are talking about this right now.
Huh?
None of us are talking about this right now. We've all been done with WWE years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened?
I said if that would happen, we've all been done with WWE that day.
Yeah, listen. I probably would have canceled my subscription with WWE Network. Like that would have been like the ultimate. That would have been the ultimate fuck you if he would let Cena beat him.
Yeah, it was bad enough. It was triple. It was triple. It could, I would have been felt better if it was Vince McMahon that beat him. God damn it! But
because remember, Vince fed AJ Styles to Cena. So it kind of seemed like he's just giving all these legends to like Triple H and Cena, and it's kind of jacked up.
Well, he. One thing about Vince is that he liked consistent money, and if they consistently bring him money,
if you constantly feeding a wrestler to Cena, there ain't no consistent money. That's just saying you did something that you did something to Vince that he didn't like.
Yeah.
Oh well, why? That's why.
Let's go with it is. We could do a podcast for 2 or 3 hours talking about how Vince fed all these different wrestlers to Cena. We could definitely do a whole podcast with that.
Yeah,
the pros and cons of that. Because my personal opinion is that I think it was better for him to be fed to Triple H than John Cena. That's just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because
shouldn't have been fed at all.
Know what it is. Like you knew for a fact
shouldn't been fed at all.
You knew for a fact if you was fighting Cena, we all knew Cena was gonna win. If someone did beat Cena, it's like, oh shit, I'm surprised. Every week it was the same bullshit. Every week it was the same bullshit. Same bullshit every week.
That's why I didn't watch.
That's a little bit why
bullshit every week. Like, what the hell?
When he came back, because when he came back, I felt like they're just doing the same bullshit with Cena. They're gonna have him beat people up. He fucking sucks. Now he's like walking slowly and doing it.
I just think that to me I just didn't like how Vince did Sting, but I got to give Tony Khan credit because at least he celebrated the career of Sting. Vince didn't do that. Vince didn't do that whatsoever. So I have to give credit where credit is due.
Vince was mad that Sting didn't come over when he was younger and he stayed faithful at WCW.
Yeah.
Do some hater ass shit. You should be happy that people are fucking faithful to companies. How about you get some people that be faithful to Vince?
Right. And again, we may have different, we all know Chris Jericho, right? I'm gonna mention him, even though he has nothing to do with Sting or whatever. But we know Chris Jericho looks up to Bret Hart. He still came to WWE, so I'm pretty sure that Bret Hart probably put in the word with like Vince or whatever or spoke to Jericho, like, nah, they gonna get your career that high. So he was taking people from WCW and growing them, but when he did the Sting, that wasn't cool at all. Like, that wasn't cool.
Yeah, there was a lot. I think there's a lot of egos on both sides that made that fall through. So again, like I said in the beginning, he was like, "I'm not going," because he got mad at how they like rolled out the presentations. Like, I'm not gonna be disrespected. Okay, whatever. You know something though? I can understand it though, because when he finally did go over, they disrespected him. So, what the fuck?
Yeah, let's call it what it is. He had the greatest. He made the greatest wrestler from WCW, like Stone Cold. He made him into the greatest wrestler ever. You can make an argument. One of the greatest wrestlers ever, and Stone Cold and The Undertaker. So Vince has a scout for talent, but for something with Sting, I wish he could have done, even though he was at the late of his career, but he shouldn't have done him like that. That was just jacked up. That was messed up.
He was a legend, especially because he treated Ric Flair so well.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
you know, I mean, there's so much more that could have been done. But you know something, we don't know. None of us know what happened behind the scenes and all of that. But it is all politics, as we started off talking about earlier. All
But
these things are politics behind the scenes, you know.
but you know what's so crazy, and I'm glad you brought that up. And I don't want to talk about Hogan, but I think Hogan and Ric Flair was a better rivalry than Sting and Ric Flair.
I think,
Even Ric Flair acknowledged that. He
yeah,
acknowledged that,
but I think
and some
that,
people don't know it. We know that, but
yeah,
people that look outside the box, they'll think Ric Flair and Hogan they careers always linked to each other like Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. You see what I'm saying? We know the truth. We said this 2 weeks ago. If you had to, those were the top two wrestlers ever from WCW,
if
Ric
we're
Flair
talking,
and
oh
Sting.
yeah,
But
oh yeah,
it kind of seems like Hogan and Ric Flair kind of like their careers will forever be linked with each other because it's always that argument. Well, who's the greatest out of one of them two?
yeah, and you know, it goes back to the fact that Sting made himself an individual. When he got the
Right.
power to choose his matches, he always chose to like work with people he could pull up the ladder,
Right.
you
No,
know,
I
stuff
agree.
like that, you know, and that's what makes him like the example of like consummate professional because he's like, I'm not gonna keep taking these star, you know, he could be in the ring with Flair forever, he could have. He chose to, like, you know, do Diamond Dallas Page matches and AJ Styles because he thought AJ Styles was going to be the future of wrestling. Like, he really made choices to be a good person, even when it came choices about wrestling, and that's why I love him so much. You
No, I
know,
agree.
Right.
I listen. I agree. I agree. We can argue about this all night, but it's just it's. I wish it was more wrestlers like that sacrifice their career to put somebody over. A lot of
that's
them don't do that.
I think that's how it should be. You know, you get to a certain place in your career, pull everybody up. What the fuck you doing? You got money? You know, you're not going anywhere. You're solidified. Pull other people up. You know, I think I'm really happy that somebody thought that we got to see it. We saw other wrestlers, but not as much, not as
Yeah,
constant as Sting throughout his career, no matter what he was doing. TNA pulling people up, WCW pulling people up, you know, even UWF when I was looking at that, you know. He opened the door for getting Jim Hedgewood back in the company after he had a problem with Vince McMahon. Like he always tried to be that conflict like between to help people out. It was awesome. And after finding out he helped people get off drugs, it's like that's that shit. That right
that's
there.
true. I agree.
Who said that?
What?
I just heard someone say this your library.
See, that's what we were talking about before. We heard somebody
Yeah,
else talk.
we probably need to end this podcast because I think somebody's listening that shouldn't be listening. And
Well, let's hope that if they are listening, they like and share
yeah,
this.
like and share exactly.
Yeah,
And
I'm
that's what we
weirded
were talking
out.
about earlier. Someone else talking. All right.
Yeah,
So I got to talk about Sting finally. That ends our whole second golden era wrestlers mini series.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, great
And
job. I like this series. It was good.
I think that we definitely should do more series like this. I think all of us getting involved like this, we're really passionate about it. And we all learn new things about the
we can
wrestlers
do
as well.
one
What?
attitude era wrestlers.
Let's do it.
Oh
Each
yeah,
pick
let's do that. Let's do that.
fully.
Wait. No,
Nah,
see,
you. Let's do it, but no one can pick the Rock or Stone Cold. Let's
we
do
should
that.
pick.
Can't
We
pick
should
the
pick
Rock,
like
Stone Cold, or Triple H.
we should pick
That's
the
the
lower tier
stipulations. I'm
guys.
putting the stipulations out there. Can't choose them three.
I think we should pick like people from like let's say Val Venus tier. You
Yeah, like
know,
be like C wrestlers. Yeah.
yeah, we should do that because
Like
everybody knows everybody else.
Al Snow.
Yeah, exactly.
GTV. GTV.
No, not them. Nobody talks about that.
We still trying to find out who's behind it.
Wait, what'd you say?
GTV.
Oh yeah,
No, they said it
that's
was Goldust.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
you know
thought
what? You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna do some research and find out, and I'm gonna post it to the chat line. I'm gonna find out once and for who's behind this shit, because I heard it was Goldust. That's what
It
I.
probably
That's what,
was. You know,
huh?
when you were on drugs, he wasn't the same person. So
Yeah, we need to find out who's behind that, man. Because if Triple H brings that shit back, I'll be upset. Yeah, I'll be tight, man. I'll be happy if he brings that shit back, man.
Honestly, okay. Before we sign off here, couple gripes I fucking have currently with WWE thing. Why the fuck do we need to see everybody walking in? I am sick of the fucking walking in with your fucking bags, fucking shit. I am so fucking sick of it. You know who's I like? Rhea Ripley's. Because last night she had one and she looked straight at the fucking camera and waved. I'm like, cool. Thank you for knowing that the camera was there. Play to the fucking camera. Like Christ.
I mean, I think they need to leave them alone. They're literally walking in a parking lot. Leave them alone. Get the camera out of their fucking face. Get them coming out of the fucking locker room in the hallway, walking to the thing or something. Nobody needs to see them coming out of their cars. Looking like they just got their signal.
Prepped and staged, and just they all look the same. Like like the first 5 minutes of SmackDown and Raw, I just don't pay attention anymore.
It makes no sense. It's a waste of TV time. But hey, gotta fill that time because
the only good that did happen recently was Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre's one about a month or so ago, where Drew was walking down, where Damian was walking down the hallway, and it's like Damian Priest and blah blah blah, and it has that, and then fucking Drew just comes out of nowhere and attacks.
Yeah. Yeah, those are totally fine. I love those. Those get me amped up, but nobody needs to see you drag your luggage, bro.
Yeah, no, I'm so sick of that, and it happens constantly, and I just don't give a fuck. Like
sorry, ADHD. Doing an attitude era right after this would make sense though. That's literally what it ended up being.
Yeah.
After the second golden age, it was the attitude era. That was the next big era. So
I think we should pick a top star and a lower star. I think that way it balances it out a little bit, because how much like can't talk no like
yeah.
Sure, there's plenty to talk about.
But as he said, nobody can choose The Rock or Stone Cold. Like those are their own discussions.
That's going to be way too easy, because we talk about them like every fucking week, every week.
I mean, if we talk about the attitude era, they're gonna pop up, and somebody was yelling at someone's doing a mic, thing, but they're always there. They're always there. So
I already know who I'm gonna pick. I know who I'm gonna pick.
Who you gonna pick?
So,
I don't know. I might pick Chris Jericho. Who knows?
That'd be a good one.
Or the Brooklyn Brawler.
That'd be a good one. Yeah. Chris did a lot.
Yeah.
He did.
Oh yeah. I'm thinking I'm gonna do that one. Yeah, we should do it.
But
I think if we're to pick a good and bad one, my bad will be Sable.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. Good pick. Good pick. Bad one. Gilbert.
Yo, Gilbert almost beat Triple H, man. No, we gotta put him at the good. He almost beat Triple H. Nah, man, he ain't gonna do Gilbert like that, man. He ain't a wrestler. All right, fellas, lady, I gotta go.
All right.
Yeah,
we're all gonna sign off. Bye, everyone. Remember, like, share, subscribe.
Like, share. Thursday.
Peace, everyone. It was fun.